Good day, you're watching Beyond the Test Drive, and yes, the Volkswagen ID.Buzz is big. It's physically big, and it's also big for Volkswagen. This is definitely their halo vehicle. Doesn't mean it's their best vehicle, but it's definitely the most interesting, and it definitely is big for the EV industry and EVs in general, because I think they've taken full advantage of the EV platform, but at the same time, they've also been able to capture the cool styling and nostalgia from way back yonder. And the other thing that's been so fun this week with the Buzz is just the incredible amount of interest in this car. It has been so much fun to talk to people. Everybody asks you about it. Everybody walks up to you. Kids want to talk about it. People wave to you when you're driving, whether they're in a car or on a sidewalk. Let's hit it. Woohoo! Kicks you there. 60. Now that fairly brisk acceleration was brought to you by a single motor on those rear wheels. This one is the Pro S model. I should mention this is right around $60-some thousand. So this is kind of the sweet spot. I know that's a lot of money calling it the sweet spot. You can get all-wheel drive, but this one we've had this week, Pro S rear-wheel drive, 280-some horsepower. There is no motor in the front, but out of tradition, there's nothing up here. But again, just out of tradition, we'll go ahead and show that there's nothing other than filling your windshield wiper fluid there. But 280-some horsepower. The big number is the torque number, available at all speeds, over 400 foot-pounds of torque driving these rear wheels. So this thing is great. It just moves this thing along. I would only say get the all-wheel drive if you absolutely have to have it in really, really rough weather, but you can save your money, get a little bit more range, 234 miles of range on this. But underneath that, you do have these 20-inch, very large wheels. These are 245s, I think. This is an alloy wheel with a center hubcap. Really cool. I would pull that off and show you the lugs, but it actually doesn't look too bad even when you pull this cap off, because these are nice alloys. But these 45 low profile wheels, again, we'll get into that out on the drive. I think they do detract a little bit from the ride quality. Styling wise, they could not have done better, but at the same time, this is still a kind of a European cargo van. It's got a very European vibe once you get into the inside. Tons of space back here, 40-some cubic feet behind the rear seats. They do give you this kind of shelf here that you'd have to unbolt and take out. Seats are pretty easy to put down back here if you want. They just pop down there, and then you do have a strap here. Very pragmatic. I won't pull this panel back, but this does have a fix-a-flat kit behind there. There is no spare. And again, this does have these optional little cargo guys. This has been very nice and useful this week with grocery shopping and whatnot. But as you can see, even this back seat, USB-C's all over this Pro S model. We also have a very good stereo, large windows to look out, so very passenger friendly. You do have a window here that slides back and forth, doesn't go down, but it's kind of fun. And then you can see, again, I'm starting to talk a little bit about the content on this car. This is full leather. I got heated seats back here outboard for these guys. Again, USB-C's all over the place. And if I do want to get into this back seat, it's just, it doesn't get any better than that. You can see the USB-C's here, a little bit of a bottle holder nookie thing there. There's no cup holders really back here. You'd have to move this console back, which you can do. And I'm just going to say these are some really ugly floor mats. So I know they're durable, but they do nothing. They definitely take away from sort of the luxury vibe of this sort of mocha leather, which is actually really, really nice. Little phone slots here. You also get a big pocket there. And again, this console, well, I'm using it for a trash can, but you can see that slides back, and on the front it comes out too. If you can sort of configure this in different ways to make little cup holders along there. Silly little bottle popper there, which is kind of cool. And then this says snow on it because you can scrape your windshield if you really get into a bind. Now, if you want to access the roof area, put a roof rack or anything up there, it is, man, it is way up there. This is a very tall van. This is way taller than any of the vans you can buy currently here in the US. You can see this candy white on top, but just a massive amount of real estate up here. So cargo capacity. Oh, the other thing I should say is we had the biggest piece of box furniture in there this week. We put all the seats down. I don't think a pickup truck could have handled that. I know no other, well, I think other vans may have handled it just fine, but you know, this thing has a longer place to put things than your typical truck bed, and it's enclosed. It's just, there's just something really cool about that. Let me just show you the key fob right here. Pretty nice key fob. Feels pretty good in hand. As you can see, opening the doors, locking, and pop in the back. It's right on here, but all full, you know, obviously keyless. You never had to get this thing out. I have kind of figured out how to get up into this week, and that's basically it. 1 foot there, another foot there, and then I swing myself in. It is not, I feel like you're kind of getting into a truck sometimes, but it took me a while to figure that out. It's just, you know, 2 feet and then slide in, and here I am. Okay, complaint number one, folks, if you're going to make an EV, give us full control over whether we're going to turn it on or off. I don't want a car coming on when I sit my butt in the seat. No, now it's going to turn on the ventilation. So trying to like film this car this week, you get out, everything shuts off. I hop in the back seat to take some video, everything shuts off. I get in, things turn on. It's mind numbing. And then they give you this here. Can I, no, now I just turned it back on. I don't know. It's just give us a button to turn the car on and turn the car off. And I'm alive, I'm on. You can see CarPlay just instantaneously came on just like that. You can have a wireless charger right here, and I have 2 USB-Cs here, another USB-C over on the door over there. So no issues with USB-Cs. I got a couple cup holders there, great shelf. Oh, and then decent sized glove box. What I like, okay, just these little things. That is the owner's manual, the abridged owner's manual ID.Buzz US version. That is genius. Nobody gets that big thick thing out and reads it, but hey, I'll get this out. I'll take a look at it, you know? So kudos to Volkswagen for that. I'm assuming there's some owner access online where you can get more detail about things. This thing also has a little card holder in it and a little coin slots over there. There's not a lot of physical controls here, but they do give you your lighting over here, and you can turn on your front and rear defrosters right there. Again, a little change holder right there. Down here, I do have 3 buttons for the power sliding doors. They work great. They're fast, they're quick. These are the biggest visors I've ever seen, but then you got a massive hood shield, got a massive windshield to block, and you got a massive side windows. Oh, we got tons of ambient lighting in here that you can change. Just pull up this guy. I can go into ambient lighting and change and turn the mood. Again, oh, it's only possible when the ignition switch is on. I got, the ventilation is running. Okay. A little bit on this system. I don't hate it. This was my first exposure to this Volkswagen system. It actually is so snappy. It's very colorful, which matches the personality of the car. And some folks have been in it, said, man, I really like how this looks. It's quick, it's snappy. CarPlay has been easy peasy. Wireless obviously with CarPlay and Android Auto. And then you just kind of have all these tiles for your menus. Music, phone, navigation is also built in here with help you with your, you know, trying to get to your next charging station and things like that. Okay, climate control, I start to lose it a little bit, but in general, they keep all these main controls up here. And then you do have the plus and minus haptic guys right here. I just leave it on the screen. You don't even need these. Volume knob, I want a volume knob. Okay, so, but again, don't hate this. It doesn't detract at all from the joy of the car. We do have this Harman Kardon system in here. I think it's one of the better sounding systems for a big car. Again, you're trying to fill this humongous volume. You got a lot of, okay, I see. I just leaned over and it goes, oh, I guess you're getting out. Oh, Lordy. Okay. I do like cars that have this type of drive mode on them. So just turn it back for reverse. And now I'm going to get a grainy backup camera. It's just grainy, and it's, when you're in tight quarters, this does not mimic reality at all. It distorts the field of view so bad but grainy, low quality, but does have these, you know, lines on it. But at least they give you the overhead view, which when you're getting into a tight place, you'll use this more than this because, again, how it distorts that. Okay, we are rolling. All right, why can't I get, gotta turn that off. There we go. I guess you would call it personality, all these little quirks sometime. Okay, as we get out on the road, first thing I want to do is give a big hearty thank you for pressing play today. Oh my gosh, it's so important to us, and we really do appreciate that. Check out everything we have over on our channel at Beyond the Test Drive. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing. Okay, so if I do, I can come down here into drive mode, and I do have some drive modes. I'm just going to leave it in the normal mode right here as we do our uphill dig. I got a 400 and some pounds of torque here, so I would imagine I'm going to get some really heavy traction control intervention. All right, there we go, uphill dig. I think this is well, it's fine. It with all that torque, no transmission shifting, this is a really nice amount of power and torque. Drivability from an acceleration standpoint in everyday life is just about perfect, and it is rear wheel drive. I have tried eco mode. Let's see, 129 miles, 128 miles of range right now at 50%. That's optimistic, by the way. I'm gonna put it in eco, and it gives me 2 more miles, so not a big difference there. Now, some other comments about the controls while we're driving here. You do have all these haptic buttons here for your radio, your heated steering wheel, things like that, and I don't hate them. This is my first exposure to the Volkswagen's use of these. Yeah, would I prefer real buttons? Absolutely, but not a deal breaker. You know, because they do give you pretty good feedback. It's just kind of hard sometimes not to hit them and engage something. Now, the other thing I should mention as we're driving along here, not doing anything fun, is I can put this, you can see it's in drive mode now. I can put it in B mode, and what B mode does is it basically tries to simulate a one pedal driving. It's not real strong one pedal driving, so I actually like it. I leave it in B mode most of the time because it still requires you to use the brake pedal in, you know, quick stopping conditions, but in general you can modulate your speed very well in the B mode. So I'd say if you've ever driven cars where the one pedal driving is adjustable, this B mode I would say is kind of medium strength. And let me just right here, let me just, do I got my heated steering wheel? No. Yes, I do. Just got to turn that off. Nope, turn it off. There we go. Boy, it heated up fast. I mean, let off the throttle pedal. It's coming down, 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 coming down. And it's just going to creep now at 3 miles per hour. See, there you go. There you go. Perfect case right there. Guy's giving the thumbs up. He's just out for a jog, and the ID.Buzz is bringing him a lot of joy. Well done, Buzz. Well done. All right, driving position. Oh my God, it's my favorite thing about this. I feel like I am the captain of this barge. I'm sitting up nice and tall. I'm in my very upright seating position, and I feel like I am in a futuristic space pod with absolutely incredible visibility out. They've also put these windows in here. Very clever what they've done here to sort of move that all out for safety. And they've managed to give us a pretty low coefficient of drag, though. I think it's like 0.29, but very good design. It's just from a driving perspective, good design. And they've given you what you need right here in front of you, which is your speed and your range. And if you're using the maps, you'll get your turn-by-turn directions right there. Okay, ride comfort. Everybody I've seen review this car has been all over the map on ride comfort, and I think it's subtle. So these low-profile tires, and they're inflated to very high pressure. So I think a lot of the sharp impacts, like the small bumps, like the really sharp things, like going over like railroad tracks right here, you kind of feel the hardness of the tire. but just kind of overall, as you're just kind of dealing with the undulations of the road, it rides very, very well. Now, I would say as you go further into the back of this car, the second row seats are not as plush. They're a little bit firmer on the bottoms than these front rows, and then when you get to the back, you start feeling more and more of the bumps. The other thing I would mention is that this is a big box. I would say VW's done a very good job with creaks and rattles. Again, a lot of money, but I just feel this feels very premium driving. It feels very, very solid. And this is a 6,000 pound vehicle. You can see I can get up to way over legal speeds really, really quick here. So yeah, 6,000 pounds, it's just effortless to move along. It just glides. It's decently quiet. And here on this country road, it's 6,000 pounds, but it does actually feel light on its feet. Low center of gravity. The beauty of driving the ID.Buzz is really in the steering. It's quick, it's perfectly weighted. You do get some feedback. It will weight up the more you turn it. So a road like this, where you're just kind of gliding along, here's a good turn right here. I am in one pedal driving, just let off the gas pedal a little bit. Yeah, this is good. Again, premium feeling. I went and drove, what car did I drive? Oh, the BMW i4. I was very close to leasing one of those, and that steering in that car is so numb. I was kind of shocked. And you get this steering here. The i4 steering should feel as good as this Buzz steering, and it didn't, which was shocking. Now the handling is phenomenal in the i4, but the steering feel, this wins. This is great steering feel. All is not sunshine and roses, of course. The brake pedal is a little odd feeling to me. Let's bring this puppy down. But very well controlled. I'm not real good with this brake pedal yet this week. You know, there's a lot of regenerative braking going on there, but not a lot of nosedive, and they feel really, really powerful. And oddly enough, we do have drum brakes on the rear, so kind of an interesting thing. Now, before we get up on the highway, one thing I did forget to mention back there in that parking lot is pretty decent turning circle, maneuverability. Again, visibility just makes this a real easy car to live with. All right, gonna get it up on the highway here. I'm still in, well, no, I'm comfort mode. Oh, I'm pegged, I'm floored. Oh, no, there's floored. And I got a massive 18-wheeler bearing down on me there. Okay. I'm pretty sure I could have jumped out in front of him, but that would have been a little daring, so we're not gonna do that. Let's see, interior sound. Okay, obviously road noise, incredibly hushed. There's obviously no engine. I measured 69 dBs in here at 70 miles per hour. It is all wind rush over the windows. There's a huge amount of glass in here, but with the stereo, and I'm not talking very loud, it doesn't feel echoey. So they've done really good job with controlling the sound in here, the sound levels. Very comfortable. No real wind buffeting, but it's just that feeling of the whoosh coming over. So perfectly fine for a big box. I don't feel like the glass is super thick when other cars and things go by, but in general, it's pretty quiet. I love the blind spot monitoring, how big they are. There's no beeps or anything going off. Again, I don't know if you can go in there and set those on, but looking at those visual cues with the blind spot has been really nice. The mirrors are a little funky. I wouldn't say they're the biggest in the world. Everything's trying to be a little bit more aerodynamic, but they're tall, so they do a good job of seeing down both sides of the vehicle. So yeah, seat comfort, pretty good. I got the thigh extenders here if I want them. I got lots of lumbar. I can put massaging seats on here, so everything's good for road tripping, which is, well, let's do cruise control first. So yeah, cruise control is easy. I do have the heads-up display. You can see I just I just set it to 66 miles per hour. Let me go ahead and increase that. And I'm gonna use some, okay. So I have down here, mode, I have semi-auto driving assist. I just have adaptive cruise with no steering. And then I can also set it to just regular cruise control with no adaptive. So gotta be careful with that. But here, I'm just gonna leave it on the semi-autonomous, and what that means is just gonna lane trace and it does really, really good. My only complaint about it is it's less than 10 seconds. Let's go ahead and set the cruise to 70. Here we go. And I'm gonna track down the road. The problem is it's really grumpy at you. It does maybe 10 seconds tops. Oh, there it goes. But it'll track around this turn real nice in the middle of the lane. So yep, it's telling me already. So you really have to, but again, you should always have your hands on the wheel anyway. Okay, so the monkey, what's the word? The elephant in the room. It's a 90 some kilowatt hour battery. You would think this would get close to 300 miles of range. It's 600 or 6,000 pounds of vehicle, and it's rated for like 234 with 100% charge. When I filled it up to 80%, which is kind of where you want to be, it's always saying right around 200 miles. It has been absolutely perfect EV conditions this week. 70 degrees Fahrenheit almost every day. So EV loves this. We haven't used the AC very much. I think 200 miles of range, 80% charge is very realistic, but once you start getting it out on the highway quite a bit, once you start running the ventilation and air conditioning quite a bit, it's going to come down. I'm not a range expert. I do know that that's plenty of range if you can charge it at home every night on a level 2. You're not going to have any complaints. You're going to have a lot of fun with this car just doing daily life. It's going to just bring a smile to your face. It's incredibly useful as a people hauler, incredibly useful as a cargo hauler, and it's just fun to hang around with. Now, as far as deep thoughts go, what I really hope here is that Volkswagen will capitalize and really keep the momentum going with the Buzz, and you know, maybe they can kind of come up with a lower priced Buzz. Maybe, I'm not sure it needs to be this big. I know the US market always wants big thing, and Volkswagen's strategy for the US market has always been to give big sized vehicles, you know, for their class. But yeah, something a little bit smaller, cheaper, and maybe decontent it a little bit. And you know, in this world of just humdrum, same old, it's been a hoot to hang out with the Buzz this week. But we need to hear from you. Definitely weigh in on your questions, comments, your ownership experience with EVs in general, or this ID Buzz. Leave your questions and comments down below. Again, thank you for coming along today. We truly do appreciate it. Don't forget to give this video a like, and as always, have a great day, morning, or evening, wherever you may be.